Good evening, everyone.
Howdy!
Welcome to another edition of Monday Madness.
Woohoo!
So, it's not started on YouTube yet. So yes, I've been baking again today. I've been making Steve's favourite cookies or biscuits, cookies, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, and they haven't even cooled down, and Mr. P had his dibs on them already. So yeah, and then Callum came down and he says, "Oh, I see you've been doing some Christmas baking." I went, "Get away from it, Callum." I says, "They'll be gone by tomorrow, probably." So yeah, I made two lots. I made white chocolate chip cookies and I made milk chocolate chip cookies. So Odds are still playing here, by the way. Sage appliances. So yeah, but I just it's either I feel in mood or I don't feel in mood, and today I felt in mood, so I thought, bugger it, I'll get some baking done. So yeah, so I made two lots of cookies. Callum peed off. Why? Oh yeah. So tomorrow's live stream, brown sugar. What is it called again? I keep forgetting because it's a little bit of a mouthful. Brown sugar crumb cake. That's it. So yeah, it's basically a sponge and then a bit like a crumble on top, but then you make like an icing, and while it's still warm, I mean, this one you don't have to wait for it to cool down. Basically, while the cake's still hot, you like a drizzle this. You drizzle this like icing on it. So that's basically it. So I know my adverts has only just finished. So yeah, Steve, I made two lots of cookies today. And Callum thought I'd started my Christmas baking. I went, "Get away from it." I says, "They'll probably be gone tomorrow." So yeah. I tried to leave. Hey, Ian's in. It says the YouTube had signed him out. Oh yeah, that was a thing. I mean, I got a message from Ian. I got a message from Bella. Can you sign into YouTube? I tried it. It says, "Oops, something went wrong." Chris tried it. That went same. But when Callum came in from college, I think it was about 12:30, something like that, he went upstairs and he says, "I've signed in." So obviously it had rectified itself. Hi, Amjad. So yeah, I think it was down for about 20 minutes, something like that. So still haven't found out what the problem was. Yeah, I know. I will say I know it weren't down very long, Ian, but about time Callum had gone upstairs and he shouted to me, "It's back on." So yeah, because I blame Bella actually. So because she's doing like this 5 days, 5 looks, and she's doing a collab with some other channels, and basically I says, "It's your fault, Bella." I says they heard you were putting a video up every day for the next 5 days. So, where's your Fosters?
Have you read what Steve put?
Okay, you sit down and relax a little. I'll do the cooking. Hold on, I'll bring you a glass of wine. But yeah. So, yeah, it went down approximately 15. Hey, Carl! You need to be fostering more like nobody will have him in. Oh dear. So yeah, how you doing, Carl? Long time no see. Are you ready for Christmas? I know we haven't even got his tree up yet again. So sort of. It's we haven't even got his tree up yet. It's one of them things. What with everything that's been going off, you just don't feel like Christmas. You know what I mean?
Oh, crap.
Bugger off then.
I'll be up in 2 hours, Ian.
The dad be out sofa and pretend they weren't in.
What's your postcode again?
I've got it in my little book, but I'm not telling it you. Yeah. But the thing is, you know, it's also said on the news that, hiya, Partnest, how are you? Says you can't fly your own drone, never mind mine. Oh, we will be having cornbread and pinto beans, onions and fried chicken and buttered rolls. So yeah, according to the Daily Brief, London is going into tier 3. I don't know when it's going to happen, like, but they're going back into tier 3. So, oh, Trump is out. Sorry, I had to put you on mute. Time at work. What you up to? Not really a deal. I do these Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then I do baking live streams on a Tuesday. Apart from that, nothing. Not really. Same old. You know, with me being on the sort of like the vulnerable list, I don't go out anywhere, so I've got nothing to tell. Pardon me. So yeah, I'm joining in the party. But anyway, same as I say, it's much, you know, same old, really. I mean, apple pie scented wax melt. Ooh. It says it's going to rub my feet while cornbread's baking. Yeah, I mean we've been on about it, Carl, but obviously, you know, for obvious reasons, it's just not been possible. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's a case of basically waiting and seeing what happens. You know what I mean? Love cornbread. I've heard about cornbread, and it's a lot like a sponge, really. So I mean, I can't actually say I've had any or I've actually made any. But you know, from what I can gather, it's a bit like a sponge. So yeah. I'm making tomorrow, Carl, brown sugar crumb cake, and that's American. Well, according to the recipe, it's American. So that's like a sponge with like a crumble topping, and then you drizzle like a icing. You make icing and like drizzle it over cake. So apparently, it is. A lot of people have it in America. Oh, it's a breakfast delicacy. It says, my breakfast dreams come true when I made this brown sugar crumb cake. It's a rich and soft brown sugar cake topped with a thick layer of brown sugar crumbs and a brown sugar icing. There you go. Oh, he's making chocolate orange cupcakes tomorrow.
Ooh.
Amjad, for Wednesday, because they're having a talent show.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, so that's what I'll be making tomorrow. And then the following week, I'm going to be making Mary Berry's chocolate Christmas cupcakes, which look like a Christmas tree. So basically, that's sort of taking it up to the Christmas week. After that, I ain't got a clue. I ain't thought that far ahead. So, but yeah, you know, that's what I'm making tomorrow, and that's what we're making next week. I just want to say thank you to everyone for the support on Friday evening when I had my interview with Pete. You don't know how much I really appreciate it. Oh, German chocolate cake. So yeah, you know, it humbled me to see so many people from my channel there to support me, you know, and it's usually Wednesday is my day off, but I go into college at 12. Oh, I were a tad nervous, even though like I do these live streams and I sit here waffling on by myself, etc., etc. When shoes on other foot, it does, you know, I were a bit nervous, but I got in my stride, and you know, oh, pardon me. Oh well, you blew them away. But the thing is, we sort of had a little, you know, chat afterwards, and Pete says to me, he says, he's relatively new to live streaming, and he says, basically, I'd got it down to a T, because when anybody comes in, he says you always greet them as soon as they see them come in. You always, you know, interact with the chat and whatnot. But I says to Chris afterwards, I says, I should have told him, but the reason why I can do that is I've got two tabs open. So I've got the actual StreamYard tab, and I've got the YouTube tab where the chat is. So basically, you know, and I forgot to pass that sort of nugget on, you know. Bella said she'd waited years to try a corn dog and only to find out it's a ruddy sausage. So yeah, you know what I mean. And I says to Chris, I says, I ought to email him and say, well, you know, the you know, the thing to the live streams is I've got two tabs open. I've got the StreamYard tab open, and then I've also got the YouTube tab open. So you know, that's our basically, because I do know that the StreamYard's comment section is behind the YouTube one. So that's how I can sort of, I can see when people come in, I can see when people make a comment and whatever. And I forgot to tell him that. So I said to Chris, I said, I'm going to have to email him and say it can make life a lot easier if you open two tabs and then you can see who's coming in, who's saying hello, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It makes it makes life a hell of a lot easier. So yeah. And basically, you know, he complimented me, you know, he says, I thought you did very well, blah, 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 you know what I mean? And so, yeah, That's it in a nutshell. And you know, it blew me away, you know, the support that I had. Everybody, you know, that everybody come to support me and were there for me. And so yeah, I mean, that's basically all I wanted. I did put a thing in group, you know, thank you to everyone that came to support me for, you know, for the interview. So you know, Melmo got a one. He couldn't stop laughing. Oh dear. But oh, Callum finishes Thursday as well. I was almost going to call you Mama. But I think my lady made some reference. She's the mother of the group. You know what I mean? But apparently, according to what he was saying, he says, you know, we can't wait to. I think he's going to have me on again. So you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't gain a lot from it. I didn't gain any subscribers, but it's all, you know, it's all you know, another string to my bow. I've been interviewed, blah blah blah, you know what I mean? I'm just wearing a Christmas jumper. I got the good one. How are you? So yes. And Callum came home today, and I mean, Amjad will probably know what I'm talking about. He's applied to become a student ambassador. So now Chris keeps taking Mickey out on him. Yeah, and all it is basically, from what I can gather, you know, taking fledglings under his wing and showing them ropes and showing them what's what, and you know where everything is. And so, but apparently he's not the only one that's applied for it. But yeah, he's hoping to become a student ambassador. So it's something. Is that it? What did he say? He had a Google Meet meeting today at 4 o'clock, obviously via online and whatever. So, and then they're going to do another one after Christmas. So, you know, fingers crossed he gets it. And, you know, it'd be something to, you know, to aim for, you know what I mean? And it'll look good on his CV, you know, when he gets a job. And I okie dokie then, Steve. Yes, the missus must come first. So so yes, you know, happy wife, happy life, as the saying goes. So so yeah, so that's you know, that's something else I wanted to tell you. This is all excitement we get, you see. So you have to make most on it. Well, so yeah, I don't know how many of you he says he couldn't stop laughing on Fridays where he says he smelt like coconuts, and he says you thought I'd locked him in my wax melts cupboard. But the thing is, I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot now. Oh, well, I don't know. It couldn't have been important. Yeah, he's put me off my stride now. I can't think what I was going to say. So it don't take much. It's all right. I'm just finishing my coffee off. Chris made me a coffee, and I'm one of these.
About 10 hours ago.
I know, but you know how I like to let it cool down. I'm not as asbestos math like you are. So yeah, it couldn't have been important because I can't for life on me think where I were going to say. I don't know. Still ain't got his Christmas tree up. I was talking to Bella earlier on, and I says we just can't be, can't be bothered. Pardon me. We've been saying like since last week we're going to have like a switch round in the living room so we can put tree up over there, and it's we'll do it tomorrow, and we'll do it tomorrow, and we'll do it tomorrow, and as they say, tomorrow never comes.
Just type in that.
But we've said today, that's it. Tomorrow we're definitely gonna get things motivated, get things done, and we're gonna get tree up. Even if nothing else, we'll get tree up. So I'm having a shopping delivery. If you haven't got the Xmas tree up yet, you might go to jail, or even worse, Nottinghamshire. But it's one of these things. Neither me or Chris, we said it don't feel like Christmas. You know what I mean? It's just, what with everything that's going off. It just don't feel like Christmas. Oh yeah, that's a thing and all. Bella's just reminded me. Bella's going to be starting to do a techno spot on her channel because she's had a laptop, I bet, about 1.5 years, 2 years, is it, Bella? And ever since she's had it, she's not been able to get the sound to work on it. Now, she rung me other day, that excited, and she says, "Can you hear me all right?" And I went, "Yeah." So she says, "I'm on my laptop." She says, "I fixed problem with me thing." It's only took her about 1.5 years, but she got there eventually. So yeah, so we can call Bella Miss Techno Whiz now. I just thought she'd want Lotto. But yeah, she couldn't wait to ring me and say, I've sorted it. Saucy cow. So yeah, well, it's worth celebrating, Bella. You did it all by yourself, and you haven't had to go and have it fixed or anything. When all's said and done, it's been, it's been a problem for, as far as I know, about 1.5 years now. And then boom, she sorted it. So I think it deserves a round of applause for Bella.
Yeah, well done, Bella.
So yeah, it's something to be proud of, Bella. You've asked for help. Nobody's offered any help on sorting it out. You've done it all by yourself. So, you can pat yourself on back and say, well, look, I sorted it out myself, So, so she'll be joining the ranks of the techno wizard in a bit. And can I just say as well, Bella, about 1 year, I just got to be in my bonnet over the weekend now. But I've got to say this, Bella. I watched your video from earlier on, and I thought your intro were awesome. I thought it were absolutely great. you know, when she says, you know, I wanted it spot on and I couldn't get it right. But I think you did a grand job. You know, that's all I wanted to say, Bella. You know, that's another thing you've got to be proud of. You did your own intro and it were absolutely fantastic, I thought. And you know me, Bella, I tell it as it is, you know, and I did think it were, I did think it were good. So if I thought it were crap, I'd tell you it were crap, but I didn't. I thought it would. I thought it were fantastic. So and you know me, I give credit where credit's due. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Chris put a video up today, and like in between the rain, it went down to the park, and they were trying this obstacle avoidance thing on his drone, and he were explaining it to me, you know. Well, I don't know, it either goes to the side or whatever to avoid obstacles. this great big Labrador come chasing after him. I had to. It's only like a short clip, but it was funny. He says I didn't know. He says I didn't know whether to run or what. It says all of a sudden. He says I seen this bloke. He says and this Labrador off its lead. He says and it come pounding towards me, and he says I didn't know whether to stand my ground or whether to run. Okie dokie then, Amjad. I hope you have a good day tomorrow at college.
Yeah,
so thank you for popping in, and thank you for your support on Friday evening as well. I do appreciate it. You know I do. But yeah, if you get a chance, Amjad, watch that video. He says I didn't know whether to run or you know, stand my ground. He says because there was this great big Labrador running towards me. So, but anyway, it were a bit of a washout because it started raining fast. So we just packed up and come home, and so he didn't actually get a chance to do what he'd gone down there to do, to try this obstacle avoidance thing. Only dogs, you know, you know, how to avoid dogs that come, you know, running towards you. Oh dear. But the thing is with dogs, you have to show them that you're not scared of them. Otherwise, you know, they'll chase you even more. And I says to Chris, says, I hope you didn't run away. He says, no. He says, I just sort of stood there. He says, and, you know, once it sort of, you know, come round me and whatever, it were all right. He says, but, you know, when you see this dog coming pounding towards you, you don't know whether it's going to go for your throat or whether it's going to lick you to death or what it's going to do. So he says, there were trees around him, Bella, but not close by, you know. And it's in our local park. There's like an archway, and it's what's it to do with World War II or something?
What?
That archway.
It was where the old building used to be, but it got caught on fire and it burned down, and that was only. It was like a big cafe. Oh,
right. I thought
part of the building that survived.
Oh, I thought it was some type of a monument. Anyway, it was this side of this archway, and basically, he just stood there. You know, he says I didn't know what to do for it best. He says I didn't know whether it were gonna, you know, go for it jugular or whether it were going to lick me to death or what it were going to do. He says, so I just, in the end, he says, I just stood there. He says, and, you know, it sort of looked at me and realised that I weren't frightened on it, so it carried on its way. So, you know, I can understand it from Chris's point of view because big dogs like that, you don't know whether they're nasty or whether they, you know, as soft as a brush, you know what I mean? And this is the thing, you know, they could come pounding towards you in a friendly fashion, or they could come pounding towards you in a nasty, you know, and Chris didn't know which one it were. But anyway, he survived to, you know, he survived another day. So he says he's going to go out first thing in morning to, you know, see if he can sort of do this thing that he'd gone down to do today. And, you know, it's just like pouring it through its paces, really, you know, to see if this, I don't know, obstacle, what's it called again? Obstacle avoidance or something. I am a lady. How are you?
I'm a lady.
So yeah, but it's all right, my lady. We're just having a laugh at Chris's put a video up today. He went down to park to try this obstacle avoidance thing on his drone, and this great big Labrador come pounding towards him, and he says, I didn't know whether it were going to lick me to death or attack me, and because he stood his ground and whatever, it just run past him basically. But he didn't know that at the time, you know, it rather going to maul him or lick him to death. So yeah, same as Chris says, it were just being inquisitive, wondering what, you know, this fella were doing, and stood at middle of the field with something in his hand. Probably thought you were going to throw a ball for it. Yeah, same as Chris says, that he says, you know, I didn't know whether to run or just stand there and hope that, you know, it run past me or whatever. And he says, so I just stood there, and they thought to him, well, it's either going to lick me to death or it's going to maul me. So, but it did neither. It just sort of looked at him as if to say, what the heck you doing, and carried on. You know what I mean? But it weren't as if it were, you know, something like a Yorkshire Terrier or a Chihuahua or anything. It were a great big blooming Labrador. So, you know, it were a bit on tender hooks. But yeah, I've just been telling everybody as well what I'm making tomorrow: brown sugar crumb cake. And what it is, it's like a sponge with like a crumble on top, and then you make some like a brown sugar, you know, icing sugar, milk. It's like an icing, and once you've baked it, you know, you put your crumble on before you bake it, and then once you've baked it, while it's still hot, you put this icing type of thing on it, you know. So that's what we're doing tomorrow, and hopefully next Tuesday we're doing the Mary Berry chocolate Christmas cupcakes, obviously, because it's going to be the Christmas week next week. So we're going to do that next Tuesday. So I did contemplate it, but I don't know, doing another baking live on Saturday, but I don't know yet. I ain't decided. I'm already going for 4 nights a week, so it's sort of, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You know what I mean? It's one of them sort of things. But I did contemplate it, going live Saturday, doing a you know, an extra baking live stream. But you know, I haven't fully decided yet. So I was only saying not 5 minutes ago, my lady, we ain't got his Christmas tree up yet. one of them cases where we keep saying, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, because we need to move a few things around so we can fit Christmas tree, because ours a big 6-foot white Christmas tree, so it needs a few things, you know, moving about. And yeah, it's sort of, you know, how can I put it? Although, you know, I'm doing the Christmas baking and whatever, it just don't feel like Christmas, you know what I mean? It's, but I says to him today, I says, right, I says, that's it. No more ifs, no more buts, or we'll do it tomorrow. I says, we're going to do it tomorrow. I says, you know, we're going to get us backsides into gear, and we're going to, you know, get stuff where it needs to be. And, you know, I says, and even if it's just Christmas tree, you know what I mean? I mean, normally we've got ornaments, we've got tinsel, you know, round clock, round mirror. But I says, even if it's just the Christmas tree, I says, then at least we sort of show him willing, if you know what I mean. So that dropped dramatically. It went up to about 9. It's gone down to 5 now. So yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, you know, we've got we've got 2 sets of lights for it, baubles, tinsel and whatever. But everything's in shed, you know what I mean? And it's just getting yourself motivated to do it, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a case of right, Callum's off college. Callum don't have nearly said nursery then. It's a long time since he went to nursery. Callum ain't got college tomorrow, so I says there's no excuse. I says, if you need a hand moving things about, Callum can help you. I says, I'll help as much as possible. You know, I'll tell you where things need going and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I says, I'll help as much as I possibly can. So, yeah. So, hopefully, on tomorrow evening's baking live stream, you should be able to see Christmas tree. When I say that. So yes, it's definitely going to happen tomorrow. I'm putting my foot down. I've made my mind up. If I've got to go to the shed and get it myself. But you see, I've got me, you know, me baking drawers. They're in way. So I says to Chris, I says, well, we'll move them out of way, put them in passage where my flour and everything is in passage. There's a big standard lamp, so we're going to move that over other side. We put the old sofa there, so we're going to move that, you know, just like general, just moving things about type of thing. So yeah, that's the plan for tomorrow. It's all right. I'm just checking something. I bet Chris knows what I'm checking. But I saw a notification today, and I don't know whether it's like as a whole, but they're recommending that all colleges and universities and like over 10s that they finish, they close schools down now till after Christmas. But I know Callum, he does his English and his maths on a Wednesday, but he does that remotely. So I don't know whether he's actually in college on Thursday or not. I don't know, but I know that is the last day if he's in Thursday. So And another thing that is applied to become a student ambassador. So he's a bit excited about that. I think it's like a bit like a job interview. You basically to find out. Oh dear. But they're saying as well that that's the main source of the the cases are in like college, university, and schools. So same as I was saying, Callum's very regimented when it comes to when he's actually been in college. First thing, as soon as he comes, he always wears his mask. That is one thing that he always wears in college. First thing that he does, as soon as he comes home, he washes his hand. Then he sanitizes his hand. But same as we've said, with me having not a very good immune system, he's got to do that really, because we don't want him bringing it back here. If he's come into contact with anybody, or not close contact, but he's very regimented about what he does as soon as he comes in from school. I said, as soon as he comes in from college, straight into downstairs toilet, washes his hand, and then he sanitizes them as soon as he's done that. So it's very aware of what he's got to do once he comes home. And Chris is saying if he goes out in car to Asda, he always wears his mask, straight into downstairs toilet, washes his hand, and then sanitize. But it's I don't I don't know whether or not a lot of you have heard. There's a new variant of it. So I'm just gonna it says new variant of coronavirus identified in England. It says London returns to strict lockdown following a sharp rise in coronavirus cases. London will return to a strict lockdown this week after coronavirus cases soared in the British capital. Oh, pardon me.
Johnny nearly fell asleep.
Hiya, Johnny. Oh, I'll let you off. It says new variant of coronavirus identified in UK. Health Secretary says it's highly unlikely the new mutation will not respond to a coronavirus vaccine. But how do they know? If it's a new variant on it, how do they know that it's not going to respond? It says a new variant of the coronavirus has been identified in the UK, which is believed to be causing the fastest spread in the southeast. Predominantly, okie dokie then, Bella. See you later. Yeah, she's tired. It's spreading faster than the existing strain and is believed to be fueling the very sharp rises in cases. So, whether it's to be believed or not, it's, but, I'm sort of only relaying what, the news, what what it says. So whether or not it's true, I don't know. So it's just a case of we'll have to wait and see. You know. But yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd, you know, for people that were interested, you know, that little snippet of information, you know. Ask Tracy, by the way, Johnny, is she feeling any better? Oh, his brother has it. Oh dear. I know she's having tummy troubles. You know, is she feeling any better? And you know, I know she says she felt a bit better all the day, and just to say, Keena did very well with her cookies as well. So I watched the video that Tracy put up, and she said that only help that she gave her, only help that she gave her were helping her roll pastry out. So she did very well. So I'm making brown sugar crumb cake tomorrow, Mike. It's American, so it says on recipe. And it's apparently they have it for the breakfast, so I don't know. It says, my breakfast dreams came true when I made this brown sugar crumb cake. It's a rich and soft brown sugar cake topped with a thick layer of brown sugar crumbs and a brown sugar icing. So that's that. And then next week, because it's Christmas week, I'm going to do a Mary Berry Christmas chocolate cupcake. It's basically a chocolate cupcake, vanilla buttercream coloured green and made to look like a Christmas tree. So yeah, so that's basically next week's. As for after that, I don't know. Hiya, Kevin. How are you?
Hello, Kevin, lad.
So yeah, so I thought, well, being as it's Christmas week, I'll do something on the, you know, the Christmas theme. And you know, I mean, if anybody watched the interview that I did on Friday evening, it's Ian asked a question: if you were to be a famous baker, who would you be? And I said Mary Berry all the way. So so yeah, so she's one of my favourites, you know, and this is one of her, you know, one of her recipes. So I mean, I did contemplate making a Christmas cake, but we don't eat it, so it'd be all right making one and then it going to waste. So you know, I mean, I do Christmas baking. You know, I make mince pies and I make maids of honor and, you know, cookies and things like that. But you know, I mean, this is sort of, Chris is the only one that likes Christmas pudding.
Will you stop typing what I'm typing?
Yes, I know what you're thinking, you see. I said that to Callum this afternoon.
I might as well not bloody type out there.
Chris is the only one that likes Christmas pudding.
And Christmas cake.
And Christmas cake. So it's hardly worth making an old Christmas cake or an old Christmas pudding just for Milado over there. So but you see, the thing is, oh, it says Tracy's online, but she's not answering me. Oh, she might have fell asleep, Johnny. But you know, we've been married nearly 18 years next year, so you know, so yeah, I know what he's going to say. I mean, I finished what I forgot where that I was talking to Callum about, and I says something to him. And he says, I was just going to say that, and he says, I says, see, I says, I even know what he's thinking as well. Well, I might compromise, and I might do your Christmas pudding. There. How's that? He's not listening because he's got headphones on. You listening? See, he's not listening. He's not. I said I might compromise and make you a Christmas pudding.
That'll do.
So yeah, I'll compromise and I might make him a small Christmas pudding. So I'm not chucking half on it away. So. You see, this is what happens when you've been married as long as we have. He switches off. But yeah, I've just said I'll compromise. I might make him a Christmas pud. So but it'll only be a small one. We won't have the brandy, but we'll have the whiskey. That will pour on top satellite. Yeah. In fact, that was something I meant to look for. We keep thinking it's because I'm having some shopping delivered on Thursday, and Chris says, "Oh, have you ordered any Branston pickle?" I went, "No." So he says, but it's not got to be the small, it's got to be the large, chunky. Branston. Yeah, he likes the. Now, how can I put it? I've got to fancy Branston pickle, but he loves it. Now he says, I don't want the small chunks. It's got to be the big chunks. So anyway. I went on, and you can amend your order up till I think 10 o'clock night before. So I went on, and they'd only got Branston pickle in the small chunks. So he says, "Oh, don't." He says, leave it. He says, I'll have a look what they've got down at our Asda. He says, and if I can't get it from there, he says, I'll go to Lidl or Aldi or one or two. It's got to be big chunks. While I was there, it's been like a tradition in our house ever since Callum's been little. I get him these the tubes like Smarties and Rolos and things like that. Well, they're £1 a pop on Asda. So I said to Chris, I'm going to order him them. We always wrap them up, so he's like got a few more bits to unwrap, you know what I mean? So I ordered them. So and then you always think of something after you've amended it and you've signed out and everything. So I says to Chris after I'd like shut it down and signed out and everything, I went, "Oh, sugar." I says, I meant to look for them syrups that says my lady. I says, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow now." So yeah, but it was like I thought, well, while I remember, I'll look and I'll order him. Hiya, Gordo, how are you? I'll order him some Branston because we only have pickled onion and beetroot at Christmas because we like to have what I call a platter. Pete makes his own Branston pickle. There you go.
Who does?
Pete, who interviewed me on.
Pete does. Tell him to make some and send some.
But you see, what I've just been saying, Gordo, Chris insists on the big chunk pickle. Now, I went on to Asda's, you know, because I'm having some shopping delivered Thursday. And only thing they got were the ones that were small chunks. And Chris says, no, that not do. He says, I'll have a look down at our Asda. He says, and if I can't get any from our Asda, he says, I'll get some from somewhere, don't you worry, you know, either Lidl, Aldi, or he says he's been watching, just eating my tea. But yeah, so the thing that I went on to had to order, he told me not to bother. But while I was there, I you know, for years, every year now, you know, we buy Callum these like the tubes, you know, they've got Smarties in them, and I've ordered him a Smarties, a Rolo, and randoms, I think they are, you know. You know, I thought, well, it's like a stocking filler, you know, a bit extra to wrap up for him, and things like that. So I'm having them all. You're getting an orange and a lump of coal, you are. Oh, chicken and chips. So yeah, so he's got to go on the hunt now for some large chunk pickle. So you know. Oh dear. Only problem is you've got no to burn it on, unless you go outside and burn it on barbecue.
One lump of coal. Yeah. I could burn his sock, but I get it in.
Oh yeah. But I've just been on about Pete, actually, Gordo, and after we'd closed the interview down on Friday evening, they were on about B&M do cooked chicken thighs. Oh, there you go. Ooh. And he was saying, basically, he says, I like how you do your live shows. He says, because everybody that comes in, he says, you welcome and blah, blah, blah. He says, I don't know how you keep up with chat like, but I says to Chris afterwards, I says, I ought to explain to him that when I do my live streams, I have two windows open. I've got the StreamYard's window open, and then I have the YouTube window open so I can see the chat, and I put it on live chat so I can see everybody as they come in, and that's how I greet everybody. But you know what you like when you know, you don't think at the time. And I says to him, I says, I'm going to have to email him and said, that's how I do it. You know, I have two tabs open because I find that the StreamYard chat is behind the YouTube chat. So that's how I know that when people are coming in, because I've got two tabs open. But hey-ho, I'll have to email him and explain to him. No football talk, thank you very much.
I just thought I'd slip that one in.
Yeah. So yeah, so I ought to explain that, but you know, and you see, we have crinkle ones, but we have the Asda ones. They're just as nice, I can tell you, Gordo. Because we were the same at one time. We only used to buy McCain's or you know, but then we tried the Asda ones, and they're just as nice. Well, according to what Chris has said, Prince, whatever his name is, has said he's not going to sack him. So anyway, moving swiftly on.
Chips, yes, chips. crinkle cut chips.
Yeah, but they're not fried, Johnny. They're oven chips. But so partly healthy. But so yeah, that's it in a nutshell, really. Nothing more to report back. So yeah, I'll have to email him and you know, I don't want him to think that I'm trying to tell him how to do his job, but it did you know, and I says to Chris, I says, should I email him and say, well, you know, this is what I do and blah blah blah, or do you think it's being a bit how can I put it, presumptuous of me to say, well, this is how I do it? Pardon me, but he did compliment me on how I conducted the live streams, if that makes sense. So you know, I sort of, you know what I mean. It's. I don't want him to think that I'm being presumptuous and telling him how to do his job, but he complimented me on how my live streams are, and you know how I engage with the audience and how I greet everybody when they come in and whatever. So, you know, I says to Chris, I says, I ought to have said to him, well, this is the reason why, because I have you see, not everybody thinks of that. You know what I mean? Not everybody thinks of opening 2 tabs. And obviously when I'm on the YouTube page, I put the live chat on instead of top chat, because with the top chat, you don't always see all the people that are coming in the comments. So I always put it on live chat. So yeah, so you know, I'm in 2 minds whether or not to do that. Well, that's what you told me.
Yep.
You says always put your live chat on, and then you can see. Hey.
I'm just repeating.
Oh, I thought you says it's sleeting. Yeah. I know I've got trouble with my ears, but oh dear. Anyway, but you see, another thing that Chris does, but I'm not fond of it. He has like what they call a pop-up chat, but it's like a bigger, you know what I mean? It's a bigger box. So oh, taste testing cranberry cider.
Cider.
Oh dear. So yeah, so we don't know. Chris hasn't made his mind up whether or not he's going live Thursday. So we haven't made his mind up yet, but we're having the shopping delivered and we're having the booze delivered. So he'll probably be having a few sherbets if he does go live. Oh dear. But yeah. So, but the said football team is playing another said football team on Thursday night. So, and he's adamant that him and Callum are both adamant that they're not watching it. So, so yeah. But I says to him, I says, are you still going live Thursday? He says, oh, I don't know yet. You know what it's like. It's sort of... Yeah. Well, this is it. But yeah, they're both adamant that they're not going to watch it Thursday evening. So that's that. So, you know... Save your money, mate.
Really?
It's a save your money. I'm still here. I kept the stream running from my end. Thank you very much, partners. But yeah. So it's sort of, you know, it got the OBS working and it got everything all sorted, and you know, and now I said, oh, I don't know whether I'll go live or not. I don't know how I feel about it and blah blah blah. So you know, I'm not saying he's definitely going to live and then he don't go live, and I'm not saying he's, you know, not going to go live and then he decides it's just a case of oh, pardon me. He says this cider is not very fizzy, needs longer in the bottle. So obviously you've got to leave it a bit longer. Stop tasting it. Well, he's got to taste it to see if it's right, and obviously it's not as fizzy as he'd like it, so he knows it's not right. So he's had taste tested it and found out that it needs a bit longer. So
yes,
yeah, Chris does. When he live streams, partners, he does use OBS. But you're having a problem. Where it sounds you're having a problem with.
Well, problems with all sorts.
Anyway, it sort of just got it right at the moment. When he does your live stream, it's like he's on telly. It's got like an what do you call it? An inlay, outlay, or whatever. He uses like a television. Oh, I was hoping to have some cherry cider done, but it seems to have taken longer on the second ferment. Oh. So yeah, so I mean, he's got all these posh things. I mean, I only just understand StreamYards, let alone OBS and whatnot. But yeah, it sort of just got it right. And then he says, I don't know whether I'm going live or not, blah, 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 you know what I mean? So it's just a case of waiting and seeing, really. Oh, needs at least 3 to 4 weeks in the bottle. How long has it been in bottle? Obviously, you taste tested it too soon. Yeah, Chris always uses headphones.
So it echoes.
Yeah. I mean, if you need to talk to anybody about that, I mean, Chris will be your man, because, you know, I don't even know the first thing about OBS. Oh, the cherry cider isn't in the bottle. Oh, right. So, yeah, you know, no good asking me because I ain't got the first clue about OBS. You know, I mean, if you're on Facebook, you could always message Chris, because you know, he'll put you in the right direction. Oh, the cranberry has been in the bottle 4 weeks. Oh, so you were just like testing it to see how it were. Oh, I don't know about that. It says it don't take out at the start. I have it so long into the recording. No idea.
Well, time it when it comes on, stop and then start again.
You might have to mess around with the sound a little on the cog to the right of your sound line. Right? That's all gobbledygook to me.
When you're looking on your screen, you've got like a little window here. But your desktop, your video, your music, if you've got any, whatever's got sound will be right hand side. And there'll be like a long line, and then when you're talking or anything, there's like a green line that goes up and down. So at the end of that line, there's like a little cogwheel. Click on that, and it should take you to your like an equalizer type thing where you can mess about with your sound settings, and hopefully that'll sort it out.
So I kept quiet there, partner, so you could hear what he was saying.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm okay though, because I have plenty of cider put away for Christmas. Well, this is the thing. I mean, we've got to rely on Asda delivering us.
Well, you stop typing what I'm typing. We're okay. Asda's looking after us.
See, I know what you're thinking.
I'm getting a copy.
Got it, Chris. It is updating at the moment.
Okay, okay. That might be why I want some with it, because it needs updating.
Oh, going back to that, Gordo, can you remember not so long back, my cup's there. Can you remember not so long back when Bella asked you, she wanted to talk to you because she couldn't get the sound working on her on a laptop? Nah, you need to learn how to make your own, Chris, far cheaper.
What?
It means cider and beer and whatever. Anyway, can you remember not so long ago, Gordo, Bella said she wanted to pick your brains about this sound thing on a laptop. And anyway, on Saturday, I got a FaceTime call from her on Messenger, and she's dead excited. So I says, what's up? What's up? What's happened? Blah, blah, blah. So she says, can you hear me all right? I went, yeah, fine. I says, you no need to shout. Anyway, as she says, I'm on my laptop. She says, I've got sound sorted out. I says, how you done that? So she says, I don't know how I did it. Well, anyway, it come down to it. We were talking, and apparently, you know, like I've got Windows 10 on this laptop, and basically every so often you get an update. So all I do is click OK, and I let it do its thing and update. Oh, I've got itchy nose now. And like let it update itself, or you know, blah blah blah. Anyway, so it come to light that when Bella got a notification to say these updates are available, she was ignoring them. So for some unknown reason, this time she didn't ignore it and she let it update. And basically that sorted the problem out. So, and I says to her, I says, basically, I says, whenever I get a notification that it needs to update, it's either, you know, Messenger, Google, Gmail, or something or other. So I says to her, I says, basically, I says, never ignore these updates. And I said exactly the same thing to her, Gordo, because she ran about ringing somebody up to come and have a look at it, and or you know, take it, come and pick it up and take it into the shop. And I says to her, I says, about say boom, 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 that's it. You know, I says it could be something very, very simple. You know, and he's probably just charged you about 40 quid call out charge, and you know, a tenner an hour for whatever. It says the echo starts 6 minutes 23 seconds into the recording. Hiya, Tracy, how are you? But yeah, so she says she's had this laptop, I think it's just over a year, and she's tried all sorts. Chris has tried talking her through it and do this and do that, and nothing's worked. Baz has done the same. I've said, is it this, is it that, or is it other? So basically, it says it did it on his last recording. So yeah, so you know, she'll run a laptop tonight because she says, you know, glare front screen of her phone, and she's got a tablet as well. She says it hurts her eyes, so she says it was just right. But she's like me, she's also got an external camera, and you know, but she says only thing that I've done different, she says I haven't actually done anything, is I got this notification that it needed an update or whatever. So I did ask Johnny, Tracy, how you were feeling, and you know, because I know you've had a bit of a tummy, you know, how you were feeling and whatever. So so yeah, so just by this simple thing of doing an update has sorted it. So so yeah, so can you imagine? Yeah, it says it might be fine now. I've updated it. You know, can you imagine getting a computer guy involved, and you know, we'd come out and take a laptop, and then he'd obviously got to look at it and bring it back. It could have charged upwards of 60, 70 quid, and all for the sake of doing an update. You know what I mean? And I says it's good that, you know, you've sorted it. I says, and it ain't cost you no. So you know, same as you say, Gordo, most of the time it's just something simple. You know, it's just something simple, and it, pardon me, it was just something as simple as doing an update. But how long has she been skipping these updates? I don't know. She didn't say. But she says basically she was getting notifications that it needed an update. But when mine comes up, I just let it run. You know what I mean? I just let it do its thing. Because they don't notify you of an update for no reason. So yeah, so she sorted it anyway. I said she called me a saucy cow earlier on because I says Bella's starting to do a weekly slot, techno whiz lessons. She called me a saucy cow. Oh dear, because I'm making fun on her that she sorted it out. Yeah. But she were over at moon, bless her, that she'd sorted it. And the fact that it hadn't cost her no. That were a win-win situation.
Well, it was updated.
Yeah, but that's all it needed doing. It needed updating. Normally the updates of virus fixes, but you see, I also, because with this one, it's got an antivirus built in. And then I don't know how often, because you go into your settings and you can have it run like a virus protection, you know, a month interval, 2 month interval, and things like that. And you know, I get a notification you know, Microsoft, wherever it is, has detected no threats. You know what I mean? But that's another thing, you know, I like to keep all that updated, so if ever there is a threat, I can deal with it pronto. So so basically, you know, I get notified when, you know, it's done one of these well, I don't know, it does a thing, and it says no malware or whatever's detected. So you know, but that's good thing about Windows 10. It's very on the ball, let's just say, as regards, you know, protecting you and, you know, your antivirus. Or but you see, another thing as well is like when I research my recipes, it will say, do you want such and such to send you notifications and whatever, and I always click block. So, you know, I don't take any chances. You know, I've done what I've needed to do. I've got the recipe, you know, I've done my research, blah blah blah. That's all I need from you. I don't want any notifications. I don't want a newsletter, or I don't want to subscribe to anybody. You know what I mean? So so yeah, so I block all them sort of things. My lappy is on its last legs, falling to bits, but it's still fast as you like. Hence why I've still got it. But yeah, you know, I'm not. I've sort of got, you know, my head screwed on right. I know that if you allow, you're going to get notification after notification. I just, you know, I've gone on that site. I've done what I've got to do. I don't want no notifications. I don't want any newsletters. I don't want this or that or other. And I just say block, block, block. So, you know, as of yet, I mean, I've never had any problems. Yeah, exactly. But the only problem I've got at the moment is I keep having to go back to my old webcam. Now, it's not a brilliant picture, but I bought that one that Chris uses, HD, and it's got dual microphone and everything. And I thought, oh, that'll be, you know, that'll be just what I need. You know, clear sound, clear picture. But same as Chris says, it's classed as a laptop, but it's as small as a notebook. The same as Chris says, them sort of things what you've got, they've not got a lot of storage space. So, like, you know, when I do my thumbnails and everything, as soon as I've sort of used the thumbnail or whatever, I delete it. Oh, the only problem I have with it. But this is another thing, Gordo. I had like telephone review, because you know, I have this CPAP machine and everything, and they did well. They phoned me up and they said, "Can you send your SD card in post?" I waited for a self-addressed envelope, and it says, "We'll ring you up Friday morning and we'll do a review over at telephone." So that's what they did. So anyway, they said they were going to leave me a new mask and everything at front desk. And she says, well, right, she says, we haven't actually got your SD card yet. So she says, basically, she says, what I'll do is I'll put a new SD card into in an envelope. She says, and then you're not sort of waiting for us to get the SD card and sending it. But it still works without the SD card. It's just that it records all data, you know, how long you're sleeping and if you've had any episodes where you stop breathing, blah, 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 etc., etc. Now, they've bought into play, and it's called Dream Mapper, and it's an app. Now, when I went last year, because I only go once a year, they told me about this Dream Mapper, and she says it cuts out, you know, less trips to hospital, because this Dream Mapper records all your data from your SD card, and it sends it to them, directly to them. So I says, yeah, I says, they mentioned it to me last year. I says, but I downloaded the app on my phone. I says, but I couldn't get my phone to connect to the machine because it's got to connect via Bluetooth. So I says to her, I says, I get up in end. So she says to me, you know, are you still wanted to use this Dream Mapper? So she says, you can, it don't necessarily have to be on your phone. It can either be a laptop, a tablet, or a phone. So Chris says to me, says, well, why don't you try connecting your laptop to it? So I've yet to do that, but it's got to be connected via Apple or Android. It's an Android. So basically, she put this letter in on what to do and how to connect it and everything. But I tried it last year and it wouldn't connect for love nor money. The phone wouldn't connect to the machine. So Chris says, well, why don't you have a bash at trying to well, you away with fairies most nights. Anyway, so yeah, so that's sort of the next step. I set it. I mean, we went to hospital on Friday, even though I didn't go in. Chris went in for me, picked a new mask up. Phil, that's another thing I've got to look up as well. I don't know how to change filters because they give me two. There's like air filters, like square things, and I don't know exactly how to change these filters. But so I've got to either YouTube it or, you know, to find out how to change these filters. So apart from the filters, everything's brand new. The pipe's brand new. The mask's brand new. You know, so the only thing I've got to do now is get this Dream Mapper thing to work, either via my laptop or via my phone, and find out how to change this. Oh, okie dokie then, my lady. It's all right. I'm on about my CPAP machine. There's like an app, and it sends all your data straight to hospital, and it cuts down on the need for you to go for an annual review. I probably did you see that? The real reason for the gas mask is so she can't smell Chris's farts. But yeah, I suffer with sleep apnea, which in a sense is I stop breathing in my sleep. So this CPAP machine, it's basically a constant flow of air. I use a nasal mask and it just goes over my nose, and you get a constant flow of air because, you know, this is how I explain it. This is how they explained it to me at hospital. In your windpipe, you've got like a what I call a flap, you know, you know, well, I don't know. Anyway, when you go to bed at night, essentially your windpipe contracts and it tightens. So sometimes this flap stays shut. Instead of like normal motion, it's like when you breathe in, it opens and shuts, opens and shuts. But when you've got sleep apnea, because the windpipe contracts so much, it basically keeps that flap shut. So the aim of the CPAP machine is it blows a constant flow of air down your nose, down your throat, and it expands your windpipe. How can I put it?
Oh, bloody power.
Now, you see, Bella's husband, he's got like a full face CPAP machine mask. Now, mine is just like a one that covers my nose. That's all it covers. So, basically, with this constant flow of air, it's doing the job of this flap, opening and shutting, because it expands the windpipe. So not a lot of people know about sleep apnea, but it is very dangerous, because when all's said and done, you're starving your brain of oxygen, and it can cause heart attacks, it can cause strokes, you know, all manner of things, because, you know, basically it's starving your essential organs of oxygen. So anyway, so I'm going to have a crack at that as well. You know, trying to get that to see if I can get it to connect via my laptop, but it works on Bluetooth. So essentially, once you've connected your laptop to your machine, it downloads the data. This app downloads the data from the SD card and sends it directly to, you know, to the hospital. But like, I'm going to probably have to go down to hospital next year, because every 3 years they give you a new machine, because the one that you have it for 3 years, and then they give you a different one and send the one off that you've been using to be serviced and whatever, and make sure all parts is working, etc, etc, etc. But Chris will tell you, I've had this sleep apnea for about, would you say about 10 years?
Yeah.
So, something like 10 years. Now, when I first had machines, it was something like sounded like a Boeing 747. So this is how much they've evolved in the 10 years since I've had a CPAP machine. So, but now Chris, you know, Chris he's got that used to it that he don't even know I'm wearing this mask. Yeah, they're not most romantic things, but you know, I just put it on when I'm ready to go to sleep and jobs are good. And you know what I mean? I don't snore. I don't stop breathing. You know, Chris thinks he's got a new wife in essence, because I don't snore and I don't, you know, you can't hear this machine either. But it's a case of, you know, you don't know it's there, and the fact that he's got used to it over years. But yeah, from about 10 years ago, the first one I had were really loud, weren't it? No, it says it's just done a screen recording of 6 minutes 55 seconds and there's no echo, so I reckon the update has fixed it.
Hey, nice one, mate.
So yeah.
Anyway, who said you could do a screen recording while you're next line?
but this is it. I mean, it's like, when Bella come over, when it was my birthday, I think it was about 2 years ago, she'd been saying to me, you know, Baz has a problem with snoring and he's waking up and he's gasping for breath. And I says, it's sleep apnea. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that it does cause, my lady. You feel like you've been to bed, but you ain't had any sleep. This is the thing. When I went into hospital when I first did a sleep study, and they rig you all up with these machines and, you know, all these wires and everything. And they said in an hour period, I stopped breathing 32 times in an hour period. Now you think if you're waking up that amount of times, not just in a night, but you know, that is one of the signs that, you know, that you suffer with sleep apnea. One is snoring really loud, and two is you feel as tired when you get up in the morning than you did before you went to bed night before. But you see, with you, my lady, there's nobody to tell you that you know, you're waking up and you're snoring loud and this, that, and other. I'd get to doc. But yeah, you know, it's best to go and get it checked out. I'd ring them and say, well, look, I've got a friend that, you know, suffers from sleep apnea, and what sort of, you know, we've had this conversation, and she says to go and get it checked out because it sounds like sleep apnea. But it does tend to affect people that are overweight. You know, not just women, men, you know, but it don't just affect overweight people. Some normal weight people suffer from it. So it's not, you know, just people that are overweight, but it tends to affect people that are overweight more than it does, you know, but anyway, going back to, so Bella had told me about, you know, Baz waking up and, you know, he couldn't breathe and they were gasping for breath and he were tired all day and they were nodding off all day. So I says to her, I says, it's sleep apnea. So she mentioned it to him, and he sort of, he were a bit reluctant, let's just say. So anyway, as it wore on a bit, she I suffer with disturbed sleep. But the thing is, it were reluctant to go and sort it out. So I says to Bella, I says, don't keep pestering him. I says, just let him be. I says, and when he feels, you know, it's got to be up to him, basically. I've only took about that much off the top of mine. Anyway, so eventually he bit the bullet and he went to the doctor. And what they'll do, my lady, is they'll ask you these questions. I mean, I got asked these questions on Friday because they always ask you these questions when you go, whether you go to hospital. Do you find yourself nodding off when you're reading a book? Do you find yourself nodding off when you're watching television? And like questions like that. So basically, that's the first step. They go through these questions. You know, are you tired all day? You know, do you feel that you're nodding off every 5 minutes? Can you just be talking to somebody 1 minute and then next minute you know you're away with fairy stuff type of thing? But it's all changed now, my lady. When I first got diagnosed, I had to go into hospital like for an overnight stay. But when we moved to Sheffield, it's just like a wristwatch now. And you put one of these things, you know, one of them things on your fingers, and that it checks your heart rate, your oxygen level, you know, and all this, you know. So that's another thing that's come a long way. Before, you'd have to go in hospital and do what they call a sleep study. But nowadays, it's just like a either a wristwatch, or I think when Baz got diagnosed, he had to wear like it was like a harness type of thing. But it was the same sort of thing, and it collects all data, how many times you stop breathing in your sleep, how loud you snore, your heart rate, you know, your oxygen level, etc. So anyway, I had an appointment to hospital. They get him this thing to put on his chest. It's a bit like a harness type of thing. And you know, come back, he got sleep apnea. Now he's got exactly the same machine as me, but same as I said, he's mine's like a nasal mask, but Baz has got a full face mask. So you know, we're glad he got sorted. He's felt a lot better since. So yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning it to your doctor, you know. But you will find that you'll get a lot better night's sleep. So, you know, Chris will tell you, since I've had my very first machine, I've never snored since. Darth Video, don't you mean Darth Vader?
No, oh, bloody.
Anyway, what he's talking about is because they only allow you a new mask and pipe and everything once a year. You know, they only allow you one of each per year. You know, you can't have a second one because they only how can I put it? The money won't stretch to you to have more than one a year. So that's what we went down to hospital for on Friday. We went to fetch Leica. She says, I'll leave it at reception. Just get your husband to pop in and pick everything up from things. So I did. And they've got like different, well, yeah, but it's like drop-in things, you know, you just ring them up in advance. And anyway, so the mask that I'd got were quite worn, let's just say, just to visit the dark side. So, and I'm not kidding you, we've laughed about this a lot. So the seal, it's like a rubber mask. May the force be with you. But yeah, it's like a rubber mask. But over time, the mask loses its suppleness, if you know what I mean. And best way I can describe to you is when it you know, when you turn it on, it sounds like it's farting. It's going because this it's not sitting proper. So he thinks it's dipped since I've had this new mask. And sometimes it whistles as well when it's not. Oh dear! But yeah, since I've had this new mask on Friday, he says, who'd have thought that just having a new mask and a new pipe would make such a difference? He says, there's no whistling, there's no farting noise, there's no nothing. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've had a laugh about it. You got to tighten it up. But what I'm just saying, I mean, you've missed most of the conversation, Jimmy, is I go for it. Normally I'd go for a review every year at the hospital, but obviously because of the current situation, they rung me and said, you know, can you, we'll send you a stamped addressed envelope. Can you send your SD card in so it can download all data? So so that's what they did. I waited for this envelope coming. I sent my SD card off, and they did like a telephone review on Friday. But because it's the NHS and whatever, they only allow you a new mask once a year. So basically, you've got to make do with this mask for a year. So anyway, after this consultation, she says, I'm going to put everything in a bag for you. I'll leave it at the receptionist at hospital. Just get your husband to come in, pick it up, jobs are good in. And since I've had this new mask and new pipe and everything, it's you know, it was making farting noises, and because the mask weren't sort of, she says it's like over time, because you're putting it on and off of a night, or even when I go out to go to the toilet, you know, obviously you have to take the mask off when you go to the toilet. So you're taking it on and off that much that it soon loses its rigidity, let's just say. So Chris thinks he's, you know, but yeah, it's a case of there's 3 size masks. So it all depends how big your nose is, really. So yeah, and then you've got like a length pipe, and the only thing I've got to look up now is they gave me 2 new filters, so I don't exactly know how to change filter on it. But you see, they basically they say that, you know, you've got to take it apart, you've got to keep your mask clean, and you know, like how it blows that air out them holes, you've got to keep that well clean, and you know, but they only allow you, their funds will only allow you like one, you know, a full set once a year. Other than that, unless it sort of, you know, it tears or whatever, they'll allow, you know, funds don't stretch to anything other than once a year. So but you see, mine is like a nasal mask that goes over my nose. So you know, it's a case of having to make do, and I knew for a fact that I needed a new mask because it was making like farting noises and all sorts, and the part where the pipe clips to the mask, it's got like 2 lugs either side, and because you're sort of putting it on and taking it off and putting it on and taking it off that much, one of the lugs had come off, so that weren't sitting right either. Yeah, I was just saying, like, I've got a friend and her husband's got the full face mask, but I've just got the one that covers your nose, which I find a lot easier. You know what I mean? I think I'd get a bit claustrophobic if I got the full face one. I've just have the nasal one. So, but at one time they used to get, you know, the pipes things that you put up your nostril, like, you know, when you're on oxygen in hospital, and sometimes you put them nasal things up your nose. Once upon a time they give you them, but I'd gone for a review, and I says, don't bother with any more of them nasal things. I says, I can't get on with them. I says, it makes me sneeze all the time. I says, I'm fine with just like the, you know, the one that covers your nose. So, you know. So yeah, I mean, I've just been saying I've had mine for about 10 years, I think now. And right when I first started on the machine and whatever, it sounded like a, you know, like a motorbike revving up. You know what I mean? They were that loud. But now, you know, it's like I've got one of the most up-to-date CPAP machines, and you can't even tell, you know, it's so quiet. So, you know, the difference in when I first started with it 10 years ago and to now, you know, they've evolved a lot, if you get me meaning. Mine's a Philips Respiratronic, I think it is. So yeah, they've evolved a lot since I first had my first one. But yeah, it's down to the individual, because like it's got Velcro. It's like got a thing that comes out like a band that comes over the top of your head, so you could tighten that up with Velcro, and then it like it's magnetic. So, you know, I mean, the very first time I ever had one, you know, you were fiddling about with these clasp things and whatever. Hi, Vanessa, how are you? But now they've evolved again, and it's magnetic. So you just put it on, just make sure it's comfortable and sitting right and everything. And then you just and it's like magnetic, and it closes itself. So, you know, it's evolved a lot since I first had my first one. But the only problem I'm getting is, can you see here? I keep like getting pressure sores, because that's the side I lay on. So I keep getting like these, what I call pressure sores, because I'm lay on that side, and obviously that's where you know, your thing is on side, the plastic bits on your mask. So I find that because I'm lay on that side, it tends to like cause like what we call pressure sores. So, but it's not all while, it's only every now and again. You know, that's the only not quite, my lady. What I'll have to do, my lady, is when I go live on Wednesday evening, I'm not doing it on the baking live stream tomorrow night, because it'll scare everybody off. I'll get Chris to bring it down for you, and I'll show you how it works. What time do you call this, Mr. Wakey?
Wakey, that's shine.
Put lipstick on it, you'll be fine. But yeah, oh, I forgot. Oh, I completely forgot all about this. I made yesterday. I made just got in. Okie dokie. I made an apple and blackberry pie yesterday, right? So I make pastry, and I'd put apples and everything onto, you know, to stew and everything. Well, anybody that knows, it turns like your apple, like a pinky, reddy colour. Tell everybody what Callum thought it were.
Forget now, what?
It come in while Chris was dishing it out, and he says, "What's that?" Yeah, we're talking about CPAP machines. So anyway, Chris, we're just about to dish it up and everything, because I made custard. You know, it just needed dishing out. So Callum happened to go into the kitchen when they were dishing it out. So he says, why is it all red?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Go on, tell him what he said. Yeah. So he says to Chris, he says, Dad, why is it red? He says, I hope it's not beetroot.
Oh, that one I said, no, I said, it's beetroot. So he went, oh,
yeah, Chris wound him up. It said I'd made an apple and beetroot pie. So we couldn't stop laughing. Oh, did you tell him it was a beetroot? Yeah. Well, Chris did. Because he wanted to know why it were like red. It were like a right reddy pinky colour. And he says, yeah, he says it's apple and beetroot. So he went, I'm not bothered about any, you know what I mean? Anyway, so it come in here, I were laughing, Chris were laughing in kitchen, and I says to him, I says, you don't talk, you aren't off gullible, Callum. I says as if I'd put beetroot in with apple. So he says, well, what is it then? I went, it's apple and blackberry. So we turned round and he says, yeah, apple and crapberry. Oh, right, fair enough, Callum. So Chris had said to him, well, you don't have to eat it, Callum. He says it'll be more for me and your dad. So anyway, puts 3 dishes out, you know, dishes it up, puts custard on it. So we sat there and he were eating away and eating away. So he finished and I says to him, I says, did you enjoy that, Callum? I went, I went, not bad for apple and crapberry. I says, you know, to say you weren't fussed. But yeah, he ate every single bit on it. And he called it apple and crapberry. Oh dear. But that were another, and I says to Chris, I says, see, I says, I knew I'd get him back. I says, when he says apple and crapberry, I says, well, it was that crap, I says, that you've eaten it all. So I went, after he went upstairs, I went to Chris, I went, one to me. But yeah, Chris had told him it were apple and beetroot. Oh dear, me and Chris were absolutely. The thing is, Tracy, that's the nature of his disability. Is that gullible that he believes what people are telling him? So, but you know, why is it pink or why is it red? Chris says, yeah, it's apple and beetroot. And he believed him. But, you know, when I says, as if I put beetroot in with apples. But anyway. But I forgot about that earlier on. I knew there was something I'd got to tell you. But yeah. You know, there's not much he turns his nose up at, Tracy, but when he says apple and crapberry, I thought, you know, I've slogged my guts out making a pie, you know, pastry, you know what I mean? It don't hurt because I know what he's like. You know what I mean?
He's not exactly the most
sensitive people. He's like me. He says what is, you know, what's on his mind. He don't sort of, you know, he don't tiptoe around it. He just comes out and says it. You know what I mean? But when I says, did you enjoy that, Callum? Yeah, it was lovely. I said, not bad for apple and crapberry. I says, you know, it probably sounds awful, you know, me saying that, but you know, in a respect, what he said were awful when he called it apple and crapberry. You know what I mean? But I know he don't really mean it. It's just that Callum's one of these sort of lads. He says it as he sees it. You know what I mean? He's more into sweets. How can I put it? Not. I know apple and blackberry sweet, but you know what I mean, like cakes and cheesecakes and things on sweet side. But when, you know, Chris likes an apple crumble, Chris likes an apple pie, you know what I mean? So you can't make things that Callum likes all the time. You've got to please everybody, if that makes sense. You know, you can't just, like I said earlier on, there's only Chris likes Christmas pudding, and I says I'm willing to, you know, make him a small Christmas pudding to appease him. You know, me and Callum can always have a cheesecake or something else. You know what I mean? You see what Wakey's put?
No,
Drop a bit of green food colouring in the custard next time and tell him it's sprout flavour. Oh dear. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to do things that he likes all the time just because he sort of, you know, ums and ahs because it's an apple pie or... You want me to make a Christmas pudding, so you're having Christmas pudding and be done with it. I says I'm willing to appease you and make a Christmas pudding, especially for you. So you're not having best of both worlds, mister. I didn't say I was making a cheesecake. I says it'll be something like a cheesecake. I don't know yet. I ain't... Well, you're not going to have room for Christmas pudding and cheesecake. So, but yeah, I mean, Chris is the only one, he's the only one that likes Christmas cake. But I says, I'm not making a Christmas cake because I know it'll get thrown away. So I says to him, I says, I'll compromise and I'll make you a small Christmas pudding. Don't be overdoing. You know, about 5 minutes after he's had his dinner, Tracy will be. So, yeah, I'm willing to compromise and make him a small Christmas pudding. Done.
One of my two of my messages, it's not there.
Oh, yeah.
I had the cheesecake.
Yeah.
On a bet.
Yeah.
And now I've just put that and it's come back again.
Oh. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, so you know. Make a cheesecake with Limeburger cheese. That should clear the estate.
Yeah,
It's gone again, yeah. Well, I don't know why that is. Let me just... Well, it's saying you're still the moderator because I've just clicked on them 3 dots and it says remove moderator. So, I don't know. It's probably After Effects YouTube going down earlier on. But... well, it like comes and it goes. So I don't know. You where you've put YouTube broken again, you've got your blue spanner. Am I blue? And it's like every other message.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you spoiled it.
That carrot cake was not. Yeah, and this is another thing. And all Tracy. Callum reckons he didn't like carrot cake, but he's one that's had most on it. This is what I'm saying, you know. I don't like carrot cake. I said, well, how do you know unless you try it? Tried it, and he's one that's had most. We always have a turkey crown, my lady. I've already got my turkey crown because that last time I had my shopping delivered, I ordered it then. Just to be on the safe side. Because there's only us 3. So we have a turkey crown, less wastage, no bones. You just slice it and... Hey, that's another thing we need to know.
What?
Electric carving knife. Wake is having roast rib of beef. Ooh. But... you know what I mean? He says he don't like these things, but unless he tries them, we don't know. And once he tried it, and, you know, when he says, you know, I says to him, he had one slice, and then a bit later on, he had another slice. And I went, that's not bad to say you don't like carrot cake, Callum. So, yeah. I got everything for tomorrow, Tracy. You see, we always have a turkey crown, like we've always had a turkey crown, haven't we?
Yeah.
So,
pigs in blanket.
Yeah, pigs in
pudding.
Yeah. We have, only thing that we don't have on as Christmas dinner is Brussels sprouts.
Oh no.
If you were in on the interview on Friday night and he says, what don't you like? And I says, the only thing that I detest is Brussels sprouts. So we're having alt trimmings, pigs in blankets, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, vegetables, turkey crown. The only thing that we're not having is Brussels. And that's it. Yeah. He needs to go down and get me a new mixer tomorrow. I made some cookies earlier on, and I made the white chocolate chip cookies, and I made the milk chocolate chip cookies. Well, I'd done the white ones, no problem. It gave up the ghost when I was doing the chocolate. I ended up using my balloon whisk. So he's got to nip into town tomorrow and get me a new hand mixer. I've got a big stand mixer, but it's a big one. It's a big Morphy Richards big one. Same as I said to Chris. I says, I can't be using it on a live stream because you won't see anything because it's that big. Oh, I can't stand this thing. Because my mum made us eat them when we were younger. And ever since then, I've despised them and I can't stand them. So we have like a mixed vegetables, is it runner beans, broad beans, sweet corn, carrots, peas, we have like no, that's one thing that we do not, because we're all in agreement on that one, Wakey. None of us like Brussels. So that's one thing we agree on. We don't have no Brussels. No Brussels allowed at Christmas. Right, guys, it's 7 minutes past 11. I've been going over 2 hours, so I'm going to shut it down because I need the little girl's room. And hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow evening. So what happened to it? It just burns itself out because I use it that often, Tracy. It's just a cheap, Cookworks one. And it gets that much worse that it just burns itself out. So and it's basically, when it's going, because one at whiskey thing stops going round. So and then I tried carrying on with it, but it weren't having it. It stopped altogether. So I ended up having to get the balloon whisk out to finish them off. But anyway, he's going to nip down. So guys, I shall see you all tomorrow evening. Thanks for your support again on Friday. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you all coming in to support me tonight. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
See you later.